31-30 final score here tonight at Wisconsin Dells is Wautoma Hornets come away with an exciting victory in overtime. And you have to feel a little bit for Heather Conroy, Bob, because I'm sure that was very hard for her. Chance to tie the game and then also potentially win the game. And both free throws went awry with 1.9 seconds left. Wautoma gets the rebound. Game is over. And a lot of questionable calls in that last couple of minutes. There's a lot of heated emotion going on in a game like that.
Well, and one of the things Heather has to look at is that game was not decided on those free throws. Not when you have 24 turnovers in the game. 2 points, I think, we put up in the first quarter. That game never should have came down to those free throws.
You're absolutely right. They always talk about a play or that, but anybody who's played the game will sit there and tell you, yeah, but we did this in the first minute. If we wouldn't have done that then, we wouldn't have missed this shot. And you're right. It just all adds up. It's just that it kind of is under the microscope always at the end. But taking a look at the scoring here tonight, first for Wautoma, they actually ended up with two players in double figures. Marty Nolan, who had a big steal for them, and we'll talk about that here too, had 10. Gridalauskas had 10. 6 for Gusky, all from the free throw line. Big for her. She was 6 of 6 from the free throw line. All came in the late in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Brooke Cushell, who fouled out right at the end, had a total of 3, and Rajacki ended up with a basket also for not a lot of scoring for either team here tonight. Tess Michaelbus with a huge second half. Got some buckets underneath. Ended up double figures again. Had been the only Chief averaging double figures. Right about her average there. She had 11 for the night. 5 points for Cassie Stowers tonight. Heather Conroy had 6 and an important basket to send it into overtime. Doro had 2. Delmore had 2 tonight. Hickey had a basket, and Gavinsky had 4 points tonight to round out the scoring for the Chiefs. 31-30. Chiefs hadn't played in 3 weeks. I think it showed a lot, especially in the opening couple of quarters. Turnovers, big story tonight for the Chiefs. 24 of them in the game, and you just very rarely, I know you talked about how you will win some games, very rarely can you turn the ball over 24 times and expect to win too many games.
Well, and just looking at the free throws, we shot 50% in the game, and they shot a whole lot better than that. Like you say, the one girl was 6 for 6, another girl was 1 for 1. In a 1-point game that featured nearly 40 turnovers between the two teams, every basket, every opportunity is big, and like I say, you feel sorry for Heather because she was the one on the line there as the game wound down, but there were plenty of other opportunities. If we have to point fingers, Heather'd be one of the first ones I wouldn't point a finger at.
Actually, she's played a very good ball game tonight. And the other thing that you have to look at, I think this is one of those games that both teams not having great seasons. Wautoma was 2-7 coming in tonight. Both were 1-1, so it's a big win for Wautoma. It's one of those games when you win it, you just kind of take a deep breath and say, thank goodness I won it. And I think when you lose a game like that, it'll bother you a little bit, but you just have to kind of shake it off and go to the next game because, like you said, there are so many things that one here or there could have changed the complexion of the game.
Well, and for the Chiefs, that's back-to-back SCC games that they've lost by 1 point at home.
Yeah, and next week we'll see if they can get healthy against Moss in the next game we'll have here on DellsTV.com. Time now to take a look at the all-new Local Points turning point of the game. And the Local Point is a delicious Friday night fish fry. Still could go out there and probably have that. Saturday steak specials and made from scratch breakfast. They're located in the Old Aces Supper Club building on Highway 12 and 16. A couple minutes from downtown Wisconsin Dells. Great food, great fun. And, great one yourself, Bobby. You get to make the call.
Well, we talked about it at halftime that we hadn't seen a play of the game. We hadn't seen a turning point of the game because there's no better way to say it. It was an ugly first half, but I think we talked a little bit off the air here, and what we've come up with as the turning point, the Local Point turning point of the game tonight was that string of free throws that Wautoma put together here in the late in the fourth quarter got us into the overtime. I believe it was 6 for 6, something like that. They made there down the stretch, and in a 1-point game, in an overtime game, those free throws were huge.
No, absolutely no question whatsoever. And of course, we also always name the Shields hot hand of the game. You can stay warm all winter long with a new fireplace or wood stove from Shields Fireside Hearth and Home on Highway 12 in Baraboo. Boo. Check out their current rebates on the net at shieldsfireside.com. And I think the hot hand of the game definitely goes to Shelby Gusky, who was 6 of 6, perfect from the free throw line for Wautoma. Sure. And in a one-point game in overtime, having a perfect 6 for 6 for a high school kid, that's big.
And I don't know that we will ever again, in our remaining 20 basketball games we have on the schedule this year, give the hot hand of the game to the player who had 5 kids score more than her. But 6 from 6 from the free throw line in a game like tonight, that she definitely was the hot hand.
That is a hot hand. And something new that we're adding to Dell's TV tonight is the Kentucky Ford Mercury and Reedsburg's workhorse of the game. It's their built Ford Tough workhorse of the game. We talked about it already, and we're going to give that to Heather Conroy. She was tough on the boards, made a couple of great offensive rebounds, put them back up, and she is just always a tough figure out there defensively.
Well, and the big thing, she probably played the last 6 minutes of that game plus with 4 fouls, and that's an accomplishment. I've seen that done before a few times by my own kid in big games. When you're in foul trouble and it's tight, it's so hard to back off.
Tough as nails, Heather is, and she is the initial Kentucky Ford Mercury's built Ford Tough workhorse of the game. Final things tonight, Bob, before we go out and give you the play of the game and the Supreme Awards honor roll. Next game up, girls again. Right back here, we'll take on Mauston in an SEC game. Chiefs going to get to a point where I think they're starting to say we got to win some of these games, some of these conference games, and I think that Mauston game Tuesday night will be one of them.
Yeah, when you only play 10 conference games in a league, and to start out 1-2 and lose 2 of the games at home by a combined 2 points, it's hard to make that up.
Yeah. Coach Mateo, veteran coach, he knows how to do it. He'll get them back here. We'll see you Tuesday night on that. On behalf of Bob Lasky, I'm Bob Van Gendren. Thanks for joining us on DellsTV.com. We'll see you next time.
Well, and before we go, let's give Sylvan their plug. The Learning Center down there in Baraboo, they sponsor our play of the game each and every broadcast on Dell's TV. And tonight's play of the game, Nolan down here picked up that steal, made the basket. At that point, she put Wautoma up by 4. The Chiefs cut back into the lead, but that's going to be our play of the game.
And
that'll wrap it up.
I agree with you, and we'll leave you, as we always do, with the Supreme Awards honor roll.